The ACE Certificate in Teaching Culture is designed for language teachers who want to gain a deeper understanding of the relationship between language and culture as it manifests itself in their language classrooms. In this course, we look at a lot of definitions. So we look at definitions of culture, cross-cultural communication or intercultural communication, intercultural competence, values continuums, cultural awareness, and so on. We take these definitions and we use them as a way to better understand the relationship between language and culture. The course is founded upon the most current and most relevant research when it comes to this language and culture relationship. We take this theory and this research and we turn it into practical knowledge and practical activities, practical things that you can do in your language classroom to be much more successful at helping your students understand that language-culture relationship. You should take this course if you have questions about how to better prepare your language students for the realities that they'll encounter when they go out into the real world to use the language that you're teaching them. This course will help you to create students who are interculturally competent as well as linguistically competent. This course is designed for currently practicing teachers of any language, be it English, Spanish, French, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, it doesn't matter. Whatever language your students are learning, they still need to understand this language-culture interaction in order to be effective communicators in the real world in the language that you're teaching them. This course is also designed for teachers of any language proficiency level. So it doesn't matter if your students are beginner students, intermediate students, advanced students. It doesn't matter if they're in a workplace communication course or an occupation-specific communication course or an academic preparation course. All levels of students need to start to understand and gradually understand more and more about this language-culture connection. Here are some of the topics that will be covered in the course. We start the course by looking at different definitions that have been created about the concept of culture, and these definitions come from a variety of academic fields. We then look at different frameworks that have been developed to analyze different cultures. Foremost among these are the values continuums frameworks. Then we take a look at the concept of culture and how culture changes over time. So we look at the different forces that have created a culture in the first place, and then the forces that influence culture change over time. Then we look at what happens when different cultures interact and meet. So we look at this at a societal or group level, and we also look at this at an individual level. We look at a concept called intercultural competence, and this is the ability to function effectively and successfully across cultures, regardless of what cultures are involved. So intercultural competence is a significant piece of the course. Then we get practical. We take a look at what happens in our language classrooms when it comes to culture. We look at troubling interactions that might occur. We look at activities that we can use to make our students more interculturally competent. And we critically evaluate the resources and textbooks that we use in our classes. At the end of the course, here's what you'll be able to do. First of all, you'll be able to critically evaluate different cultures that you encounter, and you'll be able to analyze them and really understand the differences between your culture and the cultures that you're encountering. So on a personal level, you'll have improved intercultural competence yourself. The second thing that you'll be able to do at the end of this course is help your students be more effective using their language in different cultural contexts. So you'll be able to help your students themselves become more interculturally competent. The other thing that you'll be able to do is you'll be able to manage intercultural communication or intercultural incidents that happen in your classroom, because every classroom is cross-culturally different. So there are many different cultures in any given language classroom, and as an instructor, you need to be able to manage those interactions. Finally, you'll become able to critically evaluate the cultural material that you bring into your language classroom and that you use as a teacher. So you'll be able to critically evaluate your textbooks, your handouts, any audio material you use, any video material you use, and so on. So you'll be much more aware as a language teacher about how culture is being conveyed and being taught in your language classroom. In the course, you'll complete 17 modules. Your understanding of the information presented in each module is assessed through what we call a task journal. A task journal is a series of activities or tasks that you complete in order to process the information that's presented in each of the modules. Task journals include things like self-reflections, discussions and short answer questions, creating different activities, creating entire lesson plans, and evaluating different materials or different resources. Your task journals are submitted to your instructor for feedback, and so you get individualized feedback on the tasks that you complete and the progress you're making with the course material. The ACE Certificate in Teaching Culture can be completed online or in a classroom modality. The course will take you a minimum of 35 hours to complete. And I say minimum because if there are certain topics that are of interest to you, you might want to spend more time delving into them. However, in order to cover all of the topics at the required level, you do need a minimum of 35 hours of commitment on your part. This was a brief introduction to the ACE Certificate in Teaching Culture. If you have any more questions about the course, feel free to contact us at info@aceeducation.ca. We hope to see you as a participant in the course.